Lean. Hi guys, it's Jordan, and welcome to my channel. We're really doing it. This is episode 3, so before I get started, relax, sit back, and let's enjoy each other's company. So for today's episode, I wanted to talk about natural hair. In particular, Black African American natural hair and that relationship in terms of society, but more so with overall well-being and how we should interpret that in our day-to-day life. Now, I want to specify, I'm not a cosmetologist, I'm not a hair specialist, but I am someone that had to develop a relationship with my own natural hair. And it's been something that I cherish and get to enjoy and, develop as I continue to explore what that means for how I want to present myself. Now, I grew up in a different time where, when I was younger especially, there was the conversation of good hair and bad hair. And really, I think that I want to start off by saying that self-hatred is never a great way to lead to success. And when you have to exist within your body, the idea of changing yourself for someone else doesn't make a lot of sense. There's an appreciation that needs to happen where you're constantly feeding into your own self-worth and realizing all the things or ways you contribute to yourself, the community around you, friends, family, and are building yourself to achieve the greatness that's simply meant for you. I think dreams are meant to be manifested, and so that's my opinion on that. But getting back to hair, in regards to Black people, there's a very divisive history of discrimination that's been used in order to implement ideas of self-hatred. And again, it starts with hair. I want to at least verbally dismantle some of those ideas about Black hair not being manageable, not being easy to do, and what that actually does in terms of the mindset we have to have in regards to how we view ourselves. So I know for me, education is elevation, and I'm sure we've all heard that either from TikTok or school, but it is true. And so educate yourself about yourself, have a spirit of introspection to go on an adventure and see what your hair likes, whether that's gel, oil, cream, and then find what that actually is going to look like in terms of doing your hair on a day-to-day. So around the same time that I healed my body both with nutrition and fitness, I started my journey with my hair, and it's been 2+ years. So my mission was really to develop a process for me that was gonna work with my work schedule, when I wanted to go out, and just to alleviate that sense of stress around doing Black hair. My entire life, I wasn't really, braids or styling options for my hair weren't really available. And so really the answer became, okay, I'm gonna keep my hair low. And there's a psychological conditioning that goes along with that, where if you look at the history of shaving your head or having a low haircut, there's not a lot of expression within that. Or the history of enslaved people is one of shaved heads or the disposal of hair. And really that just goes back to the stripping away of culture that I think in today's time we're trying to reclaim. And in my day-to-day, I really wanted to have the mission that my relationship with my hair was going to be one where I could appreciate it on a day-to-day and know that it's as easy as anybody else's hair, whether that was having a spirit to enforce a quality within myself in order to reinforce the ideas of my worth overall, because there is a bleed effect where you improve yourself in one area, and that spirit of encouragement that you've developed within yourself, you'll find in the way you want to conduct yourself, or the way you speak about yourself or speak to other people. Maybe you take on a leadership role in a different regard. That's really what I'm hinting at. And so with my hair, I want to say initially, when I decided this is how I was going to approach it, it took about 4 months to get a system going where I knew, okay, what products in terms of brands do I like? What products in terms of type does my hair enjoy specifically? If I want to do something differently, what options are available to me outside of simply just natural styling, such as twists, braids? That's something even in my journey today that I'm allowing to come to fruition at a time where I know I'm whole within my relationship. But I'm simply saying, the curls that I have now, or definition-wise, what different curls can I explore just on my day-to-day to really give myself those options to be creative and to know I can express myself in a way that feels like me. And I think a lot of people, in particular Black men, need those options, and being deprived of those options is really just stripping away at that humanity that we need to see on a community level for that level of encouragement. Because it's really the little things in life that I think people don't realize are missing in a larger scheme that allow you to be the best version of yourself. And I want to say it's dangerous, because when you have high highs, that's amazing. But when your lows are that low and you don't have the tools in order to pick yourself back up, or look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you, and I love the way I look, and I love the way I feel, and I love how I look and how that makes me feel, then your life begins to dull or lose the color that we all deserve. And I think it's interesting that every other race has this expression of hair, and yet more often than not, politically or socially, Black people are demonized for that same expression. And I think there's a miscommunication between both in the community and outside of the community, where natural styles and protective styles are both a expression of self and creativity and passion and zest for life, while also being a tool in order to nourish and retain our hair. In particular for me and my relationship, I really wanted to develop a system that I was going to know to be true in regards to my experience on a day-to-day, that I could look at and say, my hair is done, I feel satisfied with this, I feel handsome, I feel stellar, you know what I mean? I needed that to work for me. And so my hair really responds well to cream products is something that I discovered. And so finding brands that I like, that work within a budget that I'm friendly with, and know that I can come back to just for a normal, health-wise place of being within myself was important. And it sounds simple. It sounds like, oh, we're just talking about hair. But there have been so many studies where appearance does matter in terms of how people treat you, whether that's privilege from your skin, privilege from your upbringing, and how you can present yourself. I want to say on a spiritual level, but whether that's linguistics, education, all of those things matter and develop a quality of life that, if that doesn't meet your expectation, can really deprive you of growth in a number of ways. And so for me in this conversation, whether it's meeting you at a place where you've never thought of yourself as beautiful or handsome, or you're someone that is an experienced person with your hair and know how to do your hair and make sure there are no knots, or you're understanding what your trim needs to be. I just want to know that you're not alone and that the thought process is out there in the collective consciousness where black hair is beautiful, black hair is easy to do, and it's manageable and should be appreciated with or without braids, twists. Everything is available to us just like anyone else. I do my hair, and if I choose to do it once for that day or do it in a way where it's going to be good for the next 3 days or week is really the beauty of what I'm talking about. But having the openness both in the heart and in the mind and in the spirit to accept yourself in that regard is really what I want this video to be about, because there's so much we deserve as black people, but we're told no. We're told that's not for us. We're told that we're different, and that's a problem, so we need to change ourselves. And I'm really living my truth in the sense where I'm going to show up as me, and I'm going to be great, and if we commune and celebrate one another, that's amazing, and that's my intention. But if not, let's go our separate ways and be respectful about it no matter what. I'm so tired of people divorcing historical context from the way that we're treated now, when really it's as simple as loving your fellow man. And the realization or the fact of the matter is that that's a lot more difficult for specific members of communities, is what I'll say. I don't want to alienate anyone. But in regards to my community, black people, it starts with knowing that we are enough. Stop policing ourselves to other people's expectations and thrive in normalcy. A normalcy that's defined by ease and growth and stability. I wonder sometimes whether people really know the power of uplifting yourself is really in the little things. And that etching away that happens when people don't understand that it is discrimination bleeds into your mental health and your overall well-being. And we deserve so much more. And I wish it was as simple as me saying it that would fix this larger case. But I know that a video, a perspective, is enough to get someone on their journey in the way that I didn't know prior, because I love my hair, I love myself, and I love the people around me. You know, I'm constantly open to, if not criticism, then the uplifting nature of people wanting me to be successful, but recognizing that success within myself in terms of the work that I put in to show up. You know, we take so much for granted that sometimes you have to breathe in the success and just speak it out and let it sit in the air. So in terms of my hair, I love my hair. I really do. And it's really my effort to empower people to explore and develop a relationship with themselves, both in their well-being, but with their hair, with their skin, just a larger sense of nourishment, so you know there's nothing holding you back. Now, I do want an element of this video to be my hair care routine. I'm not a cosmetologist, not a hair specialist, but what works for me, and so it's simple, and I keep it simple with the intention that it's hair, and it's meant to be just that, an extension of ourself. And of course there's spiritual aspects that I could get into where, you know, you want to take a little bit of everything in. Having more to pull from in terms of shaping your perspective, I find is very valuable, but with me, a little goes a long way. Cream products work very well for my hair. I have a detangling brush, I have a pick when I want to use that, but you know, you want to have options, and just know that black hair is really a matter of moisture retention. And so understanding that our hair craves moisture and has facilities obviously for ancestral purposes, you know, protection from UV rays, you know, the porous nature so that air can come in and cool our scalp. Holding onto water is a gift. And so, yes, my hair enjoys cream products. I enjoy a good leave-in. You know, I measure out when I want to have more of a heavy product day or if I want to lean towards sprays. And so a leave-in spray, a detangling spray, so valuable. And I just hit the major points of my head, like my temples here, in the back as well. And then I go through the sides. And then I just kind of create quadrants where I know that the water or the product is hitting me on an overall basis, and then styling with my hands outside of just after the fact maybe using a detangling brush is enough where I can achieve a shape that I'm comfortable with. And after the fact is really when I can decide, do I want to add gel for this? Maybe I'll do that for extra definition, or I'll do that for a different look depending on what my curls are doing that day. That's something important that I want to say. I look at where my hair is at that day and I go from there. I interpret in that relationship where I'm at, what's being produced, and then I develop something that I know is going to meet my standard or aesthetic and what I want to look like that day. I don't force myself into a mold that's not really working for me. And I think that idea, like I said, it's gonna be the motif, the theme of this video, bleeds out into overall how you need to be interpreting yourself as a greater being, offering something that is valued and contributing to society and your community. That's what I mean when I say simplicity and mental health and well-being and nourishment. Nourish your soul, whether that's self-care, you know, from a skincare perspective, or like I said, doing your hair. It really is something that's deserved, but on a larger sense means so much when we're talking about who you are and how you need to view yourself. We'll get to in another video how other people can view you, because I can have my opinions on that. But for right now, I'm talking about viewing yourself in your best light, imagining what your best self looks like, and knowing that if you can see it, imagine it, view it through your mind's eye, then it's meant to be. There's a reality where that exists. And so allow yourself to be great. Allow yourself to be happy. Have fun. Skip. Do something spontaneous. Be willing to challenge yourself and know that the challenge is an adversity. It's an opportunity to gain something from yourself. Because along that journey is so much growth that will surprise you. And whether people join you or weed themselves out, that's also a blessing. But the level of encouragement that I can share, where knowing your hair is beautiful and manageable, and all that's holding you back is education, but knowing that that's going to come from yourself and playing, having a sense of play to see how your hair responds, how you respond, is really the spirit that I'm talking about. And it's just so hard out there. So in so many regards, when we understand discrimination from a racist or racial perspective, where they're so disenfranchised within themselves that they're leaning towards the ignorance of racism, that has nothing to do with you or how you deserve to show up in the world, or deserve to treat yourself and treat your hair in a way that only makes your day-to-day easier and you get that sparkle or spark of happiness that means you're doing life right. You know? Genuinely, I mean from the bottom of my heart that Black people deserve every bit of humanity that was taken from them. And the way that we look at discrimination on one end versus another is very tricky and leans into the ignorance that I'm talking about in regards to people not willing to do that same level of introspection, that adventurous spirit to have where you define who you are and love yourself, not for what you can do, that'll come later on, or is simply available to you, but how you simply exist and the rest simply happens. So if nothing else that you get from this video, please know you're beautiful, you're handsome, your hair is beautiful, your hair is curly and bouncy and full and has volume. All of these adjectives and compliments that define who you are and give you the perspective and smile that will carry you through a lifetime. And that's very much the energy that I'm putting out for anyone that sees this video and knows that their journey with their hair is their own. So take it step by step, but know that ease is waiting for you. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like, give it a comment, please subscribe. I'm growing a community and we're doing it together. And I know YouTube's not new, but I'm doing what I have to do and we're doing it together. And if nothing else, you can enjoy my face. I'm told that I have a very soothing voice. And laugh. Find some joy in the day. That's all I'm asking for. Have a great day, and we'll see each other again. Bye.